Got ourselves team 2 with Jaina. Not gonna be first. I like the double blade, by the way, with this set. That looks good. Just something about the double blade looks great. We got ourselves Harry, Strunkus, Cobra, and Vinny. Vinny already get blasted though by Aeronoma. Touching the magic, immediately having to go for a heal as soon as he sees anything. Finally able to load him up full of dots. Touching the magic, slamming, but not doing nearly as much damage. The Dark Lair joins it. If you can keep him out in the open, let him attack you with Dark Lair, that could be good. I feel like Shifting Power should honestly maybe count as a damage ability when it hits your pets. Maybe Dark Lair should also be able to get a snipe at you or two. Alter timeout for Aeronoma, backing up out just to charge in. He's got himself Ultra available, so you could always Ultra back behind the pillar. Yeah, he's just trying to see if he can go for a poke. As long as you can keep the dots on the guy, you'll be golden. Just got all these pets dotted up too. At the very least, put agonies in these things so you can get some resources. For Aeronoma, are you setting up for food? No, he's still in combat. He's just trying to get out of combat. I think he's trying to sit down for food. If Vinny can get over there with a Corruption, Agony, and just maybe get a UA, Mortal Call off of that, I think he'll be golden. As long as he keeps the dots on him. Because UA does a lot of damage. Mortal, Fear to Follow, perfect opportunity to have his own proper go. Soul Rot and everything. Oh, this is going to be painful. Malefic Raptures, man. They really amped up that ability. You can actually really build into a big Malefic Rapture. Plus, if you play around with instant cast Shadow Bolts, they can proc you instant cast Raptures. It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. Rare Frost, Vinny does not want to charge out. He's also playing a little bit safer. Aeronoma also does not want to charge out. I feel like whoever leaves the pillar right now, because they got a good spot at the moment, whoever leaves the pillar, I think is going to put himself in a disadvantage. Full evocation, or at least a little bit of evocation. Breath, but he ports last second. Poly, oh, it doesn't quite catch it. Perfect opportunity for a fear. Interrupts him right after, but he goes behind the pillar. Vinny does not have a pet, so he does have to play around his own personal interrupt. If he's running interrupt, most likely he is. UA, potential opportunity, go versus Aeronoma, trying to go for a Malefic Rapture. Is it going to be enough? Poly to follow, dropping down Dark Lair. You are in front of Dark Lair, so if you can keep him in front of it, that's going to be a lot of damage taken. Trinket does not get you out of your kick, does not break your kick. Full Fear, Drain to follow, massive damage by Vinny. Oh, with an Ice Block to follow. My goodness. Let's just try to get a UA in there. Yeah, so the buffs was enough. Yeah, buffs right now, JJ, for rogues. It hasn't, at least for PvE, it hasn't really been that much more. It feels like rogues are still quite a bit behind. But maybe they'll do more. Maybe in PvP there'll be some separate buffs, right? Because they have done buffs before. How's Evoker trying to decide whether they want to get on a warband? Evokers are fun. They're a lot stronger on beta than they are right now on pre-patch from what I've seen, numbers-wise. They might be a little undersuited for pre-patch, but once you get access to hero talents, Dev, Aug, Prez, all really good. Definitely worth committing. Definitely worth getting an Evoker up and running at some point. As Aeronoma gets fully dotted, man, he's still trying to take it super, super easy. Sitting down food, dude? Okay, Vinny, you might have to push in. I know it's not what you want to do. You might actually have to push in, Vinny. This might be one of those situations where you may have to go in. Also, do you have like 2 effects in your weapon? It feels like you have the Shadow Flame and like the new seasonal or season 4 effect all combined together. That's going to be a full invis for Aeronoma. Try to see if he closes the gap. Is that another full go? He has everything. Dark Pact immediately for Vinicus with a Mortal Coil. Does he have a trinket? The Aeronoma does not have a trinket. So this is a full set of dots on him. He doesn't have a block either. So potentially Vinny could have himself a proper big go. That's a big Dark Lair damage, doing percentage hits back to back to back as it's a full go for Vinny. Aeronoma trying to see if it can hang tight. I don't know if he'll be able to. That's a lot of damage taken. Trying to see if it goes use the reverse blinks as well as all the time to recover whatever health he can. But for Vinny, I feel like he might just have to find a way to push up on him. He might just have to set up a circle. Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to play around it. Because if he can just keep the dots rolling and deny him the ability to eat food, he might be just perfectly fine. He might just have to pour it on top of him, though. If he has a Mortal Coil with as well, he will be golden. He just got to find a way to avoid the breath. Some way, somehow, one way or another. Mortal Coil, setting it up, Fear to follow, Trinket back up for the guy, Shifting Power, having to cancel it just so he keeps himself afloat and moving. It's a rough situation to be in. He's trying to see if he can sit down for some food. I think Vinicus still has himself aboard. Breath to follow right after. Poly does put you out in the open. And Vinic and Aeronoma still played it mostly defensive more than anything. Touching the magic. Does have himself at least a bit of a setup. Spark, Shadow Melt, I think it's still over. Knockback, I think it's just done. Ultra, hold on a second. The mage is really playing around with that health bar as best as possible. Full evocation. Got himself a bit of burst available. That's going to be a full set of dots, full set of pets and everything. Oh, yeah. A good solid Malefic Rapture with full set of dots does end up closing out a game too. It is really, really good. Toxic, full dots while in a sap into a cheap shot, immediate trigger for Vinium. Mortal Coil to follow. Got himself a port. Good setup with the circle, by the way. So at least he got himself in a decent position. Interrupted last second on that UA. The dark back very soon. I think it just might be lights out for you. Unless, hold on, no death mark. It is still a lot of damage, but no death mark just yet. Fear back onto the rogue. Try to catch up with as much drain life as possible. What is this damage by the rogue, though? He's barely touching you. All those bleeds, I guess, are doing the number. Maybe you can gate. Garrote. Oh, it's over. What is that damage? Excuse me? Try to see if you can stop the rogue from one angle and the other. Blizzard on one side, Orb on the other. Blind to follow as the rogue is looking for an escape. Unless Harry charges right in with a quick blink. Try to see if you can zone the rogue out. But he's nowhere to be found. Nowhere near. Unless you Nova right now. Unless you Nova right there. The sap, by the way, the sap, so you can set up bleeds while keeping him sapped. Pro move, by the way. Actual pro move. Full shatter. Does he have the big go? Is that going to be the one shot? Oh my god. Basically, Cloaker shatters for the rogue. Chin death is the only thing that saved him. Oh man, oh man. He's picking up the eyes immediately. He's looking after the rogue. Shifted power. If he's careful, you should be able to see the rogue right around the corner. Sitting down for food, you should be able to see his hellbar immediately. Should know exactly where he is at. Flurry to follow. If he gets him a bit of a setup, Garrote right after. Does get himself at least a silence opener. Full death mark is in. As long as Toxic can just keep the stuns rolling in back to back. Actually, he might just... Oh, he almost died there. Hold on. That would have been death. That actually could have been death. That would have been sudden demise. Those bleeds, if you're up playing with fire with an altar time, I'm afraid. You're still dead. You still might just die. Oh my god, the grip just charging in. Oh my goodness. Assassin's have been broken. The dot damage is definitely pretty up there, at least in pre-patch. It doesn't feel like you have instantaneous damage. It feels like it's very delayed, but it's like consistent delayed. You know what I mean? Like a lot more delayed. Like a lot more dot heavy than like in Venom heavy than before. A lot less immediate too, but Deathmark's still doing quite a number. Full CC onto the rogue. Does he get the shatter? Probably going to be a trinket. Yeah, immediate trinket with a Cloak of Shadows. Harry still has himself an ice book in case he needs to, but now that you got a trinket out of grip, I think he could potentially be in a good spot. Question is, does Sub-Rogue have enough damage here? Sap, he's got full control over the mage as best as possible. He does not have a Garrote though, so those cheap shots, at least you can blink him. And he got himself shield at the very least with an over to follow. Ring of Frozen Orb sent in. Cheap shots back to back, trying to see if he can make as much damage happen during those stun locks. He needs another CC chain, a second block. He got himself a bit of recovery. Try to go freeze with that pet. Not going to be enough though. If he can just keep enough damage on the rogue, he got the pet. What is that? Hold on. Does the pet almost look like that? Or is that a glyph? That's got to be a glyph. That's got to be a glyph. As Harry Potter dropping down a full blizzard, sitting down for food, trying to see if he can coax the rogue back next to him. Just trying to see if he can force the rogue back over there. Immediately has a blink available, right? It does go for the blink, but the rogue is kind of using that blink to kind of... Is this over? He got you death, so I don't think it's over. But this could be a lot of damage. Oh no, the altar does reposition him a bit. He's got a bit of shatter here and there, but not enough to take down the rogue. That altar though, man, force reposition us. Does get a Nova onto the rogue. Still big shatter. Does go for a shadow melt. Still putting him out in the open. That's going to be a shift in power. No way for the rogue to interrupt that. Got a Cloak of Shadows back up though, so he's actually okay in that front. That cheap shot does end up capitalizing with that Eviscerate, taking him out with Cobrium. Is that a portal? Picking up a couple of portals versus Griff. At the very least, he's got those. Maybe he's got a cloak, so you should be okay for a good bit. Does Griff have to escape? He got cloak. But does he have a proper reset? Maybe? Unless it's a portal? Oh, it is a portal. Nah, puts him out in the open. Succubus catches you. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this rogue can get himself an out here. Those portals hurt right now, by the way. In pre-patch, when you don't have as much health as you do on the beta, those portals hurt. On the beta, it's a different story. But right now, they hurt. I think it's over. Shadowburn? Wait a second. Duel? Is this enough? He's trying to live? Dots are in. I think he just decides to dots. Unless, cheap shot of Succubus. He's trying to do whatever he can to live. His health bar is recovering. Vanished, got himself a reset. Oh, Ring of Fire. But the Ring of Fire is not enough to get him. No, he's got himself a proper reset. Hold on a second. I picked up. You should be able to find him. Succubus know exactly where the rogue is at. If you can move the Succubus over, catch the rogue in a Succubus CC, he does go for the step. Actually escapes the Succubus, trying to see if he can interrupt it, shrink it off of the gouge, get a shot to follow. You don't got to worry about Succubus into a full wall. Is this enough though? He's got himself the most amount of damage, but it can't puncture the shield or defenses of a Warlock, dude. My goodness. Shadow step to Succubus though to escape the stun. That is very, very well done. But Portal, I think it's over. Man, he's still chasing. Hold on, he's chasing after the rogue. He wants to make sure he finishes it off. Cheat death, not available. Yeah, that's rough. That is rough. Why Portal deal damage even if you're line of sight? So Portal's always done that for consistency. Like it's done that in earlier patches, and I think it's done it ever since they added it back in Legion, because it used to be part of the Warlock artifact weapon ability. Kind of like how when you start mind flaying and something goes behind the pillar, it still does damage. It's for the consistency of the ability. Normally, Portals doesn't do that much damage. Like on the beta, it's a fraction of your health. But in pre-patch, you don't have millions of health, which is what this ability is tuned for. So certain abilities... Wait, Killer Frost just got DC'd. Holy, hold on a second. Cobra! What happened? He stunned him, double Infernal beating him up. Cobra at the very least backed up to give this man as much of a chance to like come back. Hold on a moment. He just DC'd that guy. Yeah, Warlocks are kind of overpowered. You know, there's stuns, there's fears, there's disorients in the game, there's interrupts, silences. And then they got disconnects. Apparently Industrial Warlocks picked up a disconnect buff. At the very least, Killer Frost is given a proper opportunity. If he lets him sit down and eat full food, that would be a gentleman's move. That would be something. I think he's gonna do it. But yeah, Portal has always been kind of that weird ability. Normally doesn't do that much damage, but yeah, currently on pre-patch, it's gonna do a significantly more damage. But when you bring it back to the beta, it goes back to being like not a bad ability, because it does decent damage, but it's mostly like it's good for constant pressure, not burst pressure, and it's good for resource generation and keeping the enemy from resetting, if that makes any sense. Or I guess from a warrior perspective, like keeping him from healing from behind the pillar. Full Ring of Frost does not quite catch him in the proper CC. Still trying to go for proper Snowdrift. Does get the Snowdrift, but reflects are up. And Killer Frost needs to make sure he doesn't reflect any big abilities at him. And he does reflect, actually, his own Frost Bomb. He can't shatter it unless Cobra can shatter his own. He could somehow gain the benefits of shatter all of a sudden. So he should be mostly okay. But Cobra is tanked up right now. He's got himself a great position. Killer Frost has himself one more block available after that DC, which is super unfortunate that it happened. But he's got himself Frost Bomb. Maybe potentially big go. Ice Block right after. Cobra got himself the Aura Fiend. That thing is out and about casting. And as long as he keeps the thing out in the open, if Killer Frost breaks that shield, breaks that Ice Block a little too early, I think it's still over though with a bolt, right? Close? Not enough. Incinerate almost does him in. Ring of Frost doesn't catch him. Oh, I gotta really make sure those Ring of Frost are in a good spot. That, or you gotta go for Ring of Frost, then knockback right after to make sure that he does clip it. With Talrion charging in last while left. I feel like every time Tal's got to play, it's always been super high dampening and always is a finisher. But the team too still has plenty of players on the field. With Fallen, we got Strunkus as well as Cobra is still playing in. So maybe for Tel, this could be an opportunity to properly have a 1v3 or 1v1 versus 3 in a way. Not a literal 1v3, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Full Infernos are going to keep him comfy and cozy. Maybe a little bit too warm. Burning up as Cobra. Just trying to keep himself away from Tel. He's got an Orphean, but look at the Orphean. He kind of functions a little weird. He follows the Warlock, but he will only cast abilities if he has line of sight. He doesn't really like have agency of his own. It's almost like you gotta go and hold the Orphean's hand, put him in front of the warrior, and then it's like, here, look at him. Now you can Chaos Bolt. You really gotta hold his hand. Cobra has laughed with no help whatsoever. That's an execute after execute. More to call last second. Unless you can somehow lock down Tel right now, this moment. Soulfire, big Incinerate, charges in. I think an execute takes him out. Just a Mortal Strike, in fact. Just taking him real quick. Strongest charging in. Are you gonna give him a proper chance here on our duel? Maybe. Hold on a second. He does have mage food, so he's eating. Second one help him out quite a bit. If you can get yourself a continue eating food, catch up really quickly, get yourself a proper duel. Hold on a second. I think Tal is at least given a proper chance here to compete. I love seeing it in Strongest. Giving this man a proper go. I love seeing it. Even if I'm pretty sure Strongest is going to go in, smash some faces, do really well. But if for some reason he doesn't make it out alive, he's a winner in my book. 86% dampening. You're not going to do a lot of healing. For Tal, being an arms warrior, you don't heal nearly as much as a fury warrior. So I feel like for Strongest, we are going into a territory where he might be in a bit of trouble unless he's very careful with his cooldowns. Big blade storm out of Tal with a full avatar. That's going to be spear down. I think Tal spear? No, Strongest with spear. I don't even. Strongest spear. Super low though. Oh my god. Wait, didn't even parry? It just raw damage. He just man-moded. What just happened? Is Jaina gonna give him honor duel too? Oh, I mean, if this guy, what happened? That parry, no, not even use a parry. It just must have just been raw damage, right? What I think it probably was, it just raw damage versus Strongest using enrage regen, trying to heal, but at 90% dampening, it's like, wait, my health isn't coming back up. So essentially, Tal popping cooldowns early caused Strongest to go on the defensive. Except for using avatar and spear, or use spear, setting up, realize his health is low, trying to play defensive. I'm no health, dampening super high. I don't even know. I'll need to go take a look at it again. Immediate disarm onto fallen Jaina as he's trying to see if he can set up a bit of a burst. Telrion just trying to see if he can crack out as many hits as possible. There goes the parry. Jaina does not have a lot to work here. IBF as well as Legendborn does nothing left. It just executes. Deathpack doesn't even heal you for anything. I think it's just. It was so one-sided. The guy does not get a heal. But the fact is, you guys did give him a proper honor duel. So I do appreciate that. I really do. Didn't even notice when it popped everything first go. Yeah. Dampening, dude. It's gotta be killer. Tal does end up bringing it back through for his team, though. I do appreciate you, too, for giving him an honor duel. In the future, if you don't want to give him an honor duel, like, hey, you know, dampen's getting high. I kind of want to go. I want to get a win. Nobody's gonna blame you, by the way. Not a specific rule like you gotta give him honor duel. It just means you have carriage, though, if you do it. It's just for fun anyway.